Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Thursday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Diana Master. In the news tonight, the plea taking in the fish rod corruption case resumed on Wednesday, the 11th of December in the Windhoek High Court, with proceedings once again marked by delays. Former Justice Minister Saki Shangala, along with Pius Mwatululo and James Hatukulipi, raised new challenges to the court's jurisdiction under Section 106(1)(f) of the Criminal Procedure Act. This comes despite Judge Moses Chinengo's ruling in May refusing to recuse himself from the case. Of the 42 charges, including corruption, fraud and tax evasion, only 2 were addressed on Wednesday. On count 5, alleging abuse of public office for personal gain, former Fisheries Minister Bernard Esau pleaded not guilty. Shangala challenged the court's jurisdiction, prompting the judge to enter a not guilty plea on his behalf. Count 6, which accuses the defendants of conspiring to commit corruption, saw similar challenges. Ricardo Gustavo refused to plead, citing a lack of legal representation and understanding of the charges. Judge Chinengo entered not guilty pleas for Gustavo, Shangala, Mwatululo and James Hatukulipi, while Esau and Thompson Hatukulipi pleaded not guilty. The case involving allegations of large-scale corruption and the misuse of public office is scheduled to continue on Thursday, the 12th of December. In our next story, in a high-profile defamation case, the Windhoek High Court has ruled in favor of Shapwa and Betty Kanyama, awarding them damages after an audio recording by Matilda Kadikwa went viral. The recording, which accused the couple of involvement in medical supply shortages at public health facilities, led to a defamation lawsuit. On Monday, the 11th of December, High Court Judge Beatrix Diega awarded Shapwa 80,000 Namibian dollars and Betty 50,000 Namibian dollars in damages, while Kadikwa was also ordered to pay the couple's legal costs, amounting to 113,000 Namibian dollars. The ruling has sparked widespread debate on issues of freedom of speech and the protection of whistleblowers in Namibia. Critics of the judgment argue that it threatens freedom of expression and could discourage whistleblowers from speaking out against corruption. A GoFundMe campaign has been launched to help Kadikwa cover the damages, with 4,000 Namibian dollars raised so far. Namibian expatriate Philemon Shikomba, who created the page, expressed concern that the ruling could have a chilling effect on those exposing corruption. Despite the judgment, Kadikwa remains defiant and has filed an appeal. She was represented by a legal aid lawyer and expressed surprise at the fundraising campaign, saying she had received personal support. The case dates back to 2022, when Kadikwa accused the Kanyamas of using public funds for their 10 million Namibian dollar wedding and suggested that Shapwa's alleged corrupt activities contributed to medical supply shortages. Judge Diega ruled that while the recording did not directly defame the couple, it implied corruption, and Kadikwa failed to provide sufficient evidence to support her claims. The ruling has prompted comparisons to other recent incidents that critics say reflect a growing trend of silencing dissenting voices in the country. Now, on Wednesday at a press briefing in Windhoek, Nascam CEO Albert Nicanor announced a major royalty increase to 2.3 million Namibian dollars, up from 2 million Namibian dollars last year. The distribution will begin on the 23rd of December 2025, while members urged to update their bank details and SIM confirmations. Nascam also unveiled the implementation of the Wipro Connect system to streamline operations and save costs. Nascam scheduled its AGM for the 5th of April 2025 to elect a new board of directors and discuss strategic goals. This video is by Aurelia Africana.
Pool of royalty distribution for 2.3 million for the year 2023. Our distribution is retrospective, that is why we are saying 2023. So meaning we are paying for the previous year. This is a notable increase from last year's distribution, which was 2 million. That is a 30% increase. This decision reinforces our commitment to transparency and supporting the rights of our members, which are the creators. As we prepare for the distribution of royalties starting 23 December, next week, Monday, one of the key factors affecting the seamless distribution of our royalties to our members is the issue of inactive or closed bank accounts. We have plus minus 8,000 members, and to do a successful distribution, we rely on the members to provide us with their bank confirmation letters and bank details. So therefore, at this stage, we call We urge all our members to submit their updated bank account details and SIM card confirmations, particularly those with FTC numbers. Number 2,
the Agricultural Employers Association, AEA, has announced that it will continue to negotiate with the government next year regarding the minimum wages for agricultural workers, ensuring that farm labor remains affordable and sustainable. This comes after the Government Gazette published the national minimum wage for Namibia on 7 August, setting the minimum wage for all workers at 18 Namibian dollars per hour. However, agricultural and domestic workers were given a 3-year phase-in period for the wage increase. According to the new regulations, agricultural workers will earn 10 Namibian dollars per hour starting from the 1st of January 2025, 14 Namibian dollars per hour from the 1st of January 2026, and 18 Namibian dollars per hour from the 1st of January 2027. The AEA, along with agricultural unions and the Farm Workers Union, has requested that the agriculture sector be exempted from the national minimum wage increase. The justification for this request is that the agricultural sector has had an officially negotiated minimum wage for over 20 years and that the application is currently under review by the Labour Advisory Council, which will make a recommendation to the Labour Minister. The Namibia Agricultural Union expressed concern that the implementation date of the national minimum wage on the 1st of January 2025 may arrive without a response from the Minister, which would require farm workers to receive at least 10 Namibian dollars per hour, an increase from the current 6 Namibian dollars per hour. However, the regulations specify that these minimum cash wages will not replace the existing farm workers' wage agreements, which also cover benefits such as housing, food, and water. According to the AEA's 2024 wage report, the actual average wage for farm workers is 11 Namibian dollars and 4 cents per hour, meaning most workers will not be impacted by the new minimum cash wage. The AEA will continue its negotiations with the government in the new year to ensure that farm labor remains affordable and sustainable. In the meantime, the Namibia Employers Federation has made an urgent request to the Labour Minister to delay the implementation of the national minimum wage to a later date in 2025 to allow employers to negotiate and prevent potential job losses. So far, the request has not yet received a response from the Labour Minister. And now closing off our top stories, the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism has inaugurated a new board for the Game Products Trust Fund, a key institution tasked with ensuring revenue from wildlife products is reinvested into conservation and rural development initiatives. Tourism Minister Pohamba Shifeta announced the new appointments effective from the 1st of November 2024 to the 30th of October 2027, following the conclusion of the previous board's tenure in September of 2024. The Game Products Trust Fund, established under an Act of Parliament, plays a critical role in wildlife conservation and rural development. It ensures that proceeds from trophy hunting concessions, problem animal removals, game auctions, conservation fees, and donations are directed towards projects that harmonize human-wildlife coexistence. This fund secures a future for wildlife both within and outside protected areas in Namibia, said Shifeta, emphasizing its importance in fostering sustainable wildlife management and community development. The fund supports programs in protected areas and conservancies, helping to mitigate human-wildlife conflicts, promote wildlife monitoring and protection, and enhance rural livelihoods. Kolga Sikopo, Deputy Director of Natural Resources Management at the Ministry of Environment, has been appointed chairperson of the board. Other members include Maklisi Ambaisa, who was Deputy Director at the Ministry of Agriculture, Doreen Saisai, representing the Namibia National Communal Conservancy and Community Forest Alliance, Kandiwapa Angwele, Deputy Director in the Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprises, and Thomas Muronga, also representing the Namibian National Communal Conservancy and Community Forest Alliance. The board's work is guided by both the Game Product Trust Fund Act and the Public Enterprises Governance Act, ensuring accountability and effective management of resources. Shifeta highlighted that the fund is instrumental in sustaining Namibia's wildlife conservation efforts while improving the lives of communities living alongside wildlife. That brings us to the end of our top stories. After the break, we get into our community talk segment.
Santa has a festive surprise for you. Starting 2nd December, unwrap the magic of Christmas with our Advent calendar. Spot the Christmas globes in your favorite newspapers from Monday to Friday. Scan the QR code or WhatsApp hashtag Advent Calendar 24 to the Synergy chatbot. Find the Christmas globes on NTV. Or visit our Facebook pages for daily Advent doors from Monday to Saturday. Win daily prizes. Lucky winners will be contacted and Logistics Hub Namibia will deliver your prize. Merry Christmas from Santa and his proud prize sponsors.
Now, the festive season road safety operation has officially kicked off in the Erongo region. Erongo Police Commander Nicholas Kupembona shared that the Erongo region, for the period of the 1st of January 2024 until 10 December 2024, recorded 91 crashes, 227 injuries and 11 fatalities. He also mentioned that Nampol has already deployed traffic law enforcement on the B2 national roads, fixed road traffic checkpoints at Swakopmund and Yani Sava checkpoint. This video is courtesy of Precious Ngitaunapo.
Yeah, Director of Ceremonies, senior officers present, distinguished invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I'm deeply honored to be accorded this opportunity to deliver remarks during the official briefing of the festive season road safety campaign 2024-2025, Erongo region. The festive season is the time to mark with celebration, unity and reflection. It is also a period during which road safety and operational readiness take a higher significance. The primary objective of the festive season initiative is to protect lives, safeguard property, reduce road traffic crashes and related violations. Allow me at this juncture to highlight statistics of road accident Erongo region for the period January 2023 to December 31st, 2023. A total of 98 crashes and 226 injuries and 13 fatalities were reported. Moreover, from the period of January 2024 until 10 December 2024, a total of 91 crashes and 227 injuries and 11 fatalities were also reported.
The Bank of Namibia BON has unveiled its strategic plan for 2025 to 2027. We'll get into the full details of the story after the break as we head into our economic news.
I'm sure you've heard the news, and Namibia is calling. And it's time to answer with a smile. From the rolling sand dunes of Sossusvlei to the wildlife wonders of Etosha National Park, Namibia is a treasure trove of natural beauty and adventure. With Enjoy, booking the most renowned lodges is as easy as a desert breeze. Picture yourself sipping coffee on a deck, watching the sunrise. Paint the sky in hues of gold and orange. Or how about a thrilling safari, capturing memories that'll last a lifetime? Our easy-to-use website hosts the most beautiful lodges Namibia has to offer. Whether you crave luxury or a cozy hideaway, we've got you covered. So pack your bags and let's turn your dream adventure into reality. Namibia awaits, and with Enjoy, your perfect stay is just a click away.
Let's head straight into our economic news. The Bank of Namibia BON has unveiled its strategic plan for 2025 to 2027, focusing on three key priorities, which are creating a smart central bank through advanced digital tools, fostering a resilient and inclusive financial system, and laying the foundation for economic diversification driven by emerging industries. Speaking on the plan, Bank of Namibia Governor Johannes Gabagab called it a commitment to innovation and prosperity. The 2025 to 2027 strategic plan is a promise to the people of Namibia that we are prepared to lead with innovation to ensure financial stability today while creating opportunities for prosperity tomorrow, he said. At the heart of the plan is digital transformation, with the Bank of Namibia set to integrate technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning into its operations operations and the financial sector. These advancements aim to streamline processes, enhance decision-making, and expand access to financial services for all Namibians. A major milestone is the launch of an instant payment platform in 2025 designed to reduce transaction barriers and support universal financial access. The bank also reflected on its achievements under the 2022 to 2024 plan, which included progress in financial inclusion, the modernization of the financial sector, and greater stakeholder engagement. These efforts earned the BON 2 international awards in 2024 for transparency and digital transformation excellence. As the BON moves forward, it is committed to aligning with global standards while addressing emerging trends such as climate change, financial inclusion, and digital innovation. The bank believes its strategy will not only transform Namibia's financial system, but also set a benchmark for resilience and leadership across Africa. Now let's take a look at the financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 22.92 against the British pound, 19.09 to the euro, 18.09 against the US dollar, and 2 Namibian dollars and 50 cents buys you 1 Chinese yuan. All commodities are up, save for copper, which took a dip of 0.16%, now trading at $4.22 per pound. In international news, Sudan has now become the biggest humanitarian crisis ever recorded, according to a report released by the International Rescue Committee on Wednesday. We get into the full details of the story after the break.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
Headlining international news, Sudan has now become the biggest humanitarian crisis ever recorded, according to a report released by the International Rescue Committee on Wednesday. The IRC's 2025 emergency watch list states that Sudan accounts for 10% of all people in need of humanitarian aid, despite being home to less than 1% of the global population. The devastating 20-month-long war between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces has resulted in tens of thousands of deaths and displaced 12 million people since April 2023. Nearly 9 million of those displaced are inside Sudan, many in areas with destroyed infrastructure and facing the threat of mass starvation. The United Nations reports that almost 26 million people, about half the country's population, are experiencing acute hunger. Famine has already been declared in the Zamzam displacement camp in Western Darfur, and Sudan has been labeled as facing the worst humanitarian crisis in recent memory. Sudan ranks as the highest risk country for humanitarian deterioration for the second year in a row. The IRC estimates that 30.4 million people are in need of humanitarian assistance, making it the largest crisis recorded to date. The war shows no signs of ending, with both sides continuing to target residential areas, escalating the crisis. The IRC has warned of total humanitarian collapse, with health conditions worsening and humanitarian access severely restricted. Globally, the IRC reports that 305 million people are in need of humanitarian support, with 82% of them living in countries on their watch list, including Palestinian territories, Myanmar, Syria, South Sudan, and Lebanon. In response, IRC Chief David Miliband said, "The world is being cleaved into two camps, those born in unstable conflict states and those with a chance to make it in stable states." In our next story, embattled South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has defended his controversial decision to declare martial law last week, describing it as a necessary step to protect democracy. In a televised address on Thursday, Yoon called the move a legal effort to counter what he termed the opposition's parliamentary dictatorship. He vowed not to step down ahead of a second impeachment vote in Parliament on Saturday, declaring, "I will stand firm. Whether I'm impeached or investigated, I will fight to the end." Yoon and his allies are under investigation for insurrection, and several have been banned from leaving the country. Parliament, led by the opposition, has already impeached Police Chief Cho Ji-ho and Justice Minister Park Sung-jae, suspending them from office. Yoon denied allegations that his martial law order was an act of insurrection, accusing his rivals of spreading false narratives. He reiterated his earlier claims that the measure was necessary to protect public safety and democracy, while acknowledging his legal and political responsibilities. The political turmoil follows a failed attempt by opposition lawmakers to impeach Yoon last weekend. Opposition leaders have vowed to hold weekly impeachment votes until the president is removed from office. Meanwhile, Yoon's ruling People Power Party remains divided, with some calling for his resignation. If Parliament passes an impeachment bill, a constitutional court trial would determine Yoon's fate, requiring a two-thirds majority to permanently remove him from office. The situation has sparked widespread protests and strikes, with tensions remaining high. On Wednesday, the presidential office was raided as part of ongoing investigations into Yoon's actions. In a tragic turn, former Defense Minister Kim Yong-hyun, who resigned over the martial law order, attempted suicide while in detention but is reportedly in stable condition. The president's martial law declaration on the 3rd of December, which was swiftly blocked by lawmakers, has plunged South Korea into political chaos, with the country now embracing for the next chapter in this unfolding crisis. Now let's take a look at the weather predictions before we bring you sports news. Katima Mulilo can expect partly cloudy conditions, with maximum temperatures expected to hit 40 degrees Celsius and minimum temperatures 23 degrees Celsius. Here in Windhoek, maximum temperatures of 33 degrees Celsius are expected and minimum temperatures of 23 degrees Celsius are also to be expected. Looking at Walvis Bay, maximum temperatures are expected to hit 23 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, it's expected to drop to as low as 16 degrees Celsius. Bright and sunny skies in Ariamsvlei, maximum temperatures expected to hit 31 degrees Celsius and low temperatures to be expected around 17 degrees Celsius. And now let's get into our sports news. The stage is set for the next two Men's Football World Cups. FIFA has confirmed that Saudi Arabia will host the 2023 tournament, while the 2030 edition will be jointly hosted by Spain, Portugal and Morocco. To mark the centenary of the competition, 3 matches in 2030 will also take place in Argentina, Paraguay and Uruguay, paying homage to the tournament's origins. The decisions were finalized at an extraordinary FIFA Congress on Wednesday, with representatives from all 211 member nations participating via video link. The selection process involves 2 separate votes. The first designated Uruguay, Paraguay and Argentina as the centenary hosts, while the second confirmed the primary host for 2030 and awarded the 2034 tournament to Saudi Arabia. Nations cast their votes by clapping in front of their cameras, a method known as acclamation. However, not everyone was in full agreement. Norway abstained from endorsing Saudi Arabia's selection for 2034, citing concerns over the bidding process rather than the host nation itself. Switzerland requested that their observations be recorded in the meeting minutes. The process has sparked controversy as there was only one voting option for each decision. This lack of alternatives, combined with criticism of Saudi Arabia's recent sports washing efforts, using significant investments in sports to counter criticisms of its human rights record and environmental policies, has drawn global scrutiny. For the 2034 World Cup, Saudi Arabia has identified 15 stadiums for matches, though only 4 have been built so far. The countdown to these historic tournaments has already begun, but the debates surrounding their hosts are likely to continue. In our next story, Marcus Rashford is among several Manchester United players reportedly available for transfer at the club. Under new Ineos ownership, looks to raise funds for reinvestment in the squad. United were open to offers for the 27-year-old forward during the summer, but no clubs came forward. That situation is unlikely to change unless Rashford's form significantly improves under new head coach Ruben Amorim. With limited funds available for the January transfer window, United may need to sell, and Rashford's status as a homegrown player makes him an attractive option for potential profit. Since Amorim's arrival, Rashford has scored 3 goals in 5 matches, featuring both as a central striker and in a deeper role as one of 2 number 10s. However, Amorim has stressed that the player must take responsibility for his own resurgence. He has to be Marcus to try to return to that moment, his 30-goal season, Amorim said in November. Then he will have the help of all the staff of all the club and all the fans, because he is a Manchester United boy, but he has to be the first one to really want it. Rashford's form has dipped since his career best 30-goal campaign under Erik ten Hag, leading to his omission from the England squad. Amorim has pledged to support Rashford, but insists the onus is on the player to turn his performances around. A graduate of United's academy, Rashford has been with the club for nearly 9 years, amassing 138 goals and 67 assists in 425 appearances. However, his future at Old Trafford now appears uncertain as the club weighs its options. And with that, we have come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website on 1up2.com. Remember, Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. I am Diana Master, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.